Teresa, I've got a question for you.
Yes.
Do you ever like sometimes just sit there and wonder and you're just like, what the F is wrong with some people?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I do. And we have some great stories
We do.
for that theme.
That is
Exactly.
the theme for episode 32. You guys ever just out in public and you see somebody do something and you're just like, what the fuck is going on right here? What is wrong with these people?
Literally. I say that every time we film, actually.
I feel like we say that a lot.
A lot on here, yeah.
I feel
So,
also when we're driving too.
oh, when I'm driving, oh, I do. I get the worst road rage, but
People on the road, I'm like, what is wrong with you?
yeah. I don't have any road rage ones, but
I know some people are just willing to risk their life.
whisk their
I
life.
kept adding a W there. They are willing to risk their life to arrive 3 minutes earlier than the map says.
Sometimes that's me, but
Sometimes, not really, not really. They're not compared to the other people that we see. You know what I've always wondered too is like when we navigate somewhere on Apple Maps, and it's like it says this is your ETA, and we're doing 130
Yeah.
on the highway for 40 minutes on a 100-kilometer-hour speed limit. It's like, why am I not arriving earlier?
I know. It's like Apple Maps knows your typical driving speed.
Like, is it?
I don't know.
Yeah, is it calculating like your average driving speed that you usually do to give you an accurate time, or is it just calculating if you did the speed limit on the road that you're on the road that you're on? That's when you get there.
I have no idea.
I feel like it's your average speed.
Yeah, it has to be because we've had that issue so many
Yeah,
times.
I feel like we'd
but-
always be beating the clock, and we're never beating the clock.
Exactly.
We're always 5 minutes late.
All right. Well, anyways, today's theme is what the fuck is wrong with people?
So let's get into it. I've got 7 stories.
I've got 7 stories as well. I've got some really good ones.
Same.
I'm really excited for this.
I feel like
one.
this is going to be a good episode.
Yeah.
We're going to try and get through as many as we can, but sometimes we don't. The leftover ones get onto our Patreon, but let's go through and see how many we get through in the next 2 hours.
Perfect.
Who wants to start?
I'll go first.
All right. Hit it.
All right. This one comes from AITAH. Am I the asshole for refusing to tell my family which of my baby girls I adopted? I, a single 20-year-old female, gave birth to a baby girl about 2 months ago and at the same time adopted a second baby girl who was born about 3 days before. The daughter that I had in my uterus, I will call Rose. The daughter that I didn't carry, I will call Lily. I got pregnant with Rose about the same time that my best friend, who I'll call Anna, got pregnant with Lily. While I was ecstatic about being pregnant, Anna was not. Anna felt that she wasn't in a good place emotionally, financially, or any way to have a child. She told me she was considering getting an abortion and that she wished her child could have a good life somewhere else instead of just being thrown away. But anytime she pictured putting her child up for adoption, she remembers all the stories of abusive adoptive parents. She said that she felt helpless because there didn't seem to be any good answers. That's when we came up with a hesitant plan. We decided that if after Lily's birth, Anna still didn't feel like she wanted to raise her, I would adopt Lily and raise the girls as twins. Anna didn't want Lily to know she was adopted, but I hated the idea of lying to a daughter of mine. We decided that once Lily was old enough to understand, I would explain that she was adopted. If at that point Anna felt ready, we would tell Lily that Anna was her bio mom. And if not, then we would need to say that her mom wasn't ready for her to know who she was. This way, Lily could live her life. Anna didn't need to be worried about Lily because she could check on her at any time, and Anna would be able to continue working on getting her life in order. I chose not to have any of my family in the room during the birth because I wasn't comfortable with them seeing me like that, and Anna was fighting with her family at the time. So Anna and I were the only ones in the room for each other during the births. After Lily was born, Anna still wanted me to adopt Lily, as she said that she did want to be in her life more than she originally thought. We decided that she would be the godmother of both the girls, and I would be their mother. When it was time for us to go home, I organized a get-together for my family to meet both of my daughters, and we went forward with the adoption. As soon as my grandmother met my babies, she asked me which one was my daughter, and I replied that they were both my daughter. She rolled her eyes and said that I knew what she meant. I told her that, no, I don't, because they are both my daughters. She got mad at me and asked me which one was, quote-unquote, my real daughter. and my parents backed her up, saying that I should tell them which daughter I had adopted. I got mad and asked them why it mattered. Both babies are my children. I'm breastfeeding both of them. I named both of them, and I was there through the entire pregnancy for both of them, even if I only carried one of them myself. This led to a fight with my family, insisting that I tell them which daughter is which, and me insisting that my grandmother apologize for implying that one of them wasn't my real daughter. My parents told me that I am being dramatic, pointlessly stubborn, ridiculous, and that they wanted to know, when dealing with the girls, which one was their granddaughter. I kicked all of them out and said that unless they apologize and stop asking which daughter is adopted, they would not get to see either of them. After they left, I sent out a text saying that I will tell them which one is adopted when I explained to her that she is adopted. But adopted or not, they are both my children. I also reiterated that until I get an apology and they agree to view my daughters equally, they will not see the girls, and I will not be talking to them. I received a massive amount of texts ranging from them demanding that I let them see the kids and telling me how I was cruel and selfish to deprive my daughters of their love, to pleading with me to just tell them which girl it was and let them see my daughters. After a few weeks of this, I said enough. The stress of trying to take care of 2 babies, adopt Lily, and deal with my family was too much. So I sent out another text telling them that I was serious when I said I won't tell them which daughter is adopted. I then told them that I can't take their constant texts anymore, and anyone that texts me something that doesn't start with an apology is getting blocked. Most of my family realized I wouldn't back down and stop texting. I did have to block my brother, who sent me 2 paragraphs about why I should just give our parents and grandparents what they want, because it isn't worth the fight. I also had to block my mom, who texted me to tell me that no one was going to help me take care of the children until I told them the truth about which one is my real daughter. Anna agrees with me that they shouldn't care which one is adopted and says she wishes that my family didn't even know that one girl was adopted. Well, yesterday, both babies were crying. Lily needed a diaper change and Rose was hungry, and I realized that my mom was right. I can't be in both places at once, and I can't take care of them by myself. Luckily, Anna was there, and she was able to take care of them both and get them settled, because I broke down sobbing and was completely useless. Now I'm starting to wonder if I'm a bad mother for not letting my daughters see their family, and if I've chosen the wrong hill to die on.
Oh my God, this is so complicated.
It's so complicated.
Mixed emotions.
I know.
Everywhere. It's messed up. Like, what is wrong with the family for making a huge deal out of it? Like, it's kind of innocent at first to ask because you're like...
It's natural.
It's a natural. It's like, I'm
reaction.
curious which one was in your belly. And I can also understand her side of not wanting to declare because that's going to create she's worried that it's going to create a bias. But I don't know if that's in the hill that you should be dying on. I feel like if you, I'm not saying this with like, this is the right answer, but I'm only going off of my feelings because I have no idea how to relate to this or anything. But I feel like maybe the family does deserve to know. I don't know. And then like if the bias is showing up, because like it's a natural curious question where I would be curious too. Am I going to die on that hill? No. If you tell me that you don't want to tell, I'm going to respect that. I'm not going to make that a nightmare, and I'm not going to not come see the kids because you're not willing to tell me. Like my sister is about to give birth to a child. So I'm just imagining if suddenly after the birth, there ends up being another one. And they're like, yeah, we adopted her the same day because some tragic thing happened at the hospital to the person who's in the room next to us. I don't know. Whatever. And I'm just like, okay, I would ask which one was, if they both end up being boys, I'd be like, I would ask. It's just a curious question. I myself would treat them both the same. I wouldn't allow a bias to happen. So that is so tough.
Well, it's hard to say that.
It is hard to say that. I would think that, but who actually knows how I'll behave?
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. But... So I would totally respect if they didn't want, because they're like, just treat them both the same. And when they find out they're adopted, you'll find out down the road. Like, we'll tell you eventually. And I'm like, okay, that's fair. Like, no problem. It wouldn't be a hill that I'm dying on. It would be that I'm curious. But I'm also, Yeah, like I feel like as a parent, I could see myself be doing what she's doing, being kind of like, you know,
No one needs to know.
you don't need to know why you're making it such a big deal. At
And
the
the
No, go
fact that they're
ahead.
making it a big deal is concerning
Is concerning.
because it's like,
Yeah.
okay, that tells me that they're probably going to treat them differently
You're gonna
then.
give the non-adopted one the priority,
Yeah,
which isn't fair.
exactly.
I can definitely see that. It's also like what gets me too is like the whole adoption thing is I'm not liking it, if I'm being honest. Like I like it and I don't like it. I like that she was willing to do that. I just don't like the position she put herself with her friend. I think it's great of her that she was willing to adopt the kid, and every situation's different. I just see heartbreak for her because it sounds like to me that the friend thinks that she's not ready to raise the
Right.
kid, but she still wants to be there. She still wants to be in the kid's life. She's the godmother.
Godmother.
She's there at the house right now helping, taking care of, but she doesn't want that full-time responsibility of being a parent. It's
Yeah.
almost like she's gonna get to be a parent, but not have to do any of the actual hard work of it,
Responsibilities, yes.
responsibility, financial
Financial,
responsibility.
exactly.
And then when the kid ends up being like 5 or something, and when she's in a financial position, she's gonna be around. She's gonna see that kid grow up, and she's gonna be like, "That's my kid." And that's going to pull on the heartstrings, and she's going to want her kid back at some point. Her staying in her life, her watching her grow up. I feel very strongly that at some point she's gonna want that kid back. She's gonna fight for that kid, and the girl who's now raising her is gonna be heartbroken because she's gonna raise her as twins. They're gonna raise them together, and then at some point, her best friend, whether she wants to or not, is going to destroy that. I don't see any other possible outcome, and I could be wrong, and everything could be rainbow and sunshine, but I just cannot see that situation ending positively between those two friends, because at some point the kid's going to grow up and she's going to want her to have a kid. She's going to want her back.
Yeah.
And then
Honestly, I didn't think of that.
and at that point, like, yeah, you legally adopted her, but like if she's DNA biological mother, what's the rules for that? Can she come along and try
I
to
don't think
go
so.
for full custody or something like that?
I don't
Like,
think so because it would be as if like any other adoption,
I hope
right?
so, but I can also see it if she's staying in her life and the kid gets to be 13 and mom makes a rule that she doesn't like, she's got godmom to go there. And at some point, if she finds out that she's her real mom, like it's going to
Yeah.
be so complicated, so messy. And I don't think, like, I understand where OP is coming from for doing that. And I can't imagine not doing it or saying no. I just feel like it's going to be inevitable for it just to get sour
Messy.
when she decides that she wants her kid back. I can't imagine being a parent and being like, I'm not ready to be a parent. So, and my best friend volunteers to be a parent, and me not, and then also me still being involved in their life and not wanting to be the parent. To have the mom, to have that child love. Like, if
Yeah.
you're going to give your kid up for adoption, you got to give your kid up for adoption, and cut and don't turn back. You can't keep it nearby. I
Yeah,
feel
because the
like
lines are gonna get blurry,
so blurred the whole
and
time.
you're gonna feel like her mom as much as you won't have that title, like
And you're going to feel like the mom even more because you don't have to do majority of the diaper changes. You don't have
yeah,
to deal with the kids talking back to you. You're only going to see the good stuff. And that's going to want you to be the parent more because you don't have the kid under your roof. You haven't had the financial stress of having the kid. You haven't had to take them to school, after school practices. You only get to be there for the rainbow and sunshine moments, where that's going to want you to be like, I can do this. I want to be mom. I want her to know I'm her mom. I want to take care of her when she's like 5, 6, 7, 8. So I just don't see this whole situation
ending well.
ending well. I'm very,
Yeah,
proud of OP for like stepping up and doing that, and applause to her and all that stuff. And I just feel bad because I feel like it's going to end up with her being broken 10 years down the line or something like that from this situation that she's put herself in. Like, if she's willing to be there and like shake the diapers and stuff like that. Maybe she could be a parent with your support. Maybe best friends helping raise each other's kid, takes a village type of thing. Like that could work. But giving up like that, yeah, I don't know. And I do think it's pretty shitty of OP's parents to kind of like refuse and just give up. It's not worth the fight. It's like, guys, like you trying so hard is showing me that you're going to be biased once you find out.
Yeah, exactly. So I understand like OP's issue here, why she's doubting her decision. I don't think she's a terrible mom at all. Like when she said, I feel like a bad mom.
Well, I mean, yes and no. I can understand why she feels that way. She feels like she has now taken on too much of a burden and she can't take care of them adequately enough by just herself. So maybe that is a bad decision. Like you bit off too much to chew and now you can't take care of these two little infant babies that need 24/7 care. So
it's just shitty that her whole family is acting this way. It's like, okay, well, if you're going to be shitty family, do I even want your help?
Well, I think that's why she also feels like that. She doesn't have any help right now. And now she's like, this one needed to be fed and this one is crying and like handling both of them. Now that she doesn't have the village to support her, she feels like maybe she took on too much. And this is one of those situations where, yeah, if you take on too much between like two jobs, whatever, you can quit a job. Like you have two kids. There is no backing out. There is no.
Maybe a compromise would be if, what's the friend's name? Anna. If Anna can maybe provide financially for like a live-in nanny or something.
And this is also where I go, that's where, maybe she can. And that's where I go down where that's the more that Anna is involved, the more heartbreak this is going to end up in a couple of years.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely tough. But
I think, honestly, I feel for OP, but I feel like she is almost in a no-win situation here. I hope she finds happiness. I hope everything works out between her family being assholes now and the kid's moms being the godmother and being in the kid's life for the next foreseeable future. She's got a rough time ahead of her for the next 10 to 20 years.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Okay, top comment. Not the asshole. Sounds like they will probably treat your daughters differently. I can't see why it would be so important to know. As for you depriving them of your family's love, you're protecting both of your daughters. Your family doesn't get to decide when or what info you share. There is a big chance that when you do tell them, they'll favor one daughter. Be prepared for that. Don't let it affect your daughter's views of each other.
Yeah, I agree with that comment. If they're trying so hard for this, I can't find a counter argument to how they won't be biased.
Yeah.
I can't see it. They want to know who their real granddaughter is. And that's just a tough situation. Like, yeah, they should be. I'd be curious too. Would I be dying on this hill?
Curious is different.
No. I'd be respecting her choice of she doesn't want to tell anybody yet. That's fair. I'd be like, I can totally understand that. Don't worry about it. Tell me when you're ready.
Exactly.
We'll find out in a couple of years, whichever one looks more like you.
Okay, so there is an update. Thank you all for the support. I was shocked when I saw how many people had commented because I honestly expected to find maybe 3 or 4. I tried to read through all the comments quickly, so I want to answer a few things that I saw multiple people say. 1. Everyone knows that Anna was pregnant and that one of them is her bio kid. Anna and I do look pretty similar on a basic level. Both have similar colors of brown hair, dark brown eyes, and both are white. I'm a little darker than Anna, and she is fair-skinned, and I always look like I have a tan. We also both got pregnant with a white guy. To me, at least, it isn't obvious which girl is whose bio kid. 2. Anna had been dating Lily's bio dad for maybe half a year, but when he heard that Anna was pregnant, he told her that he didn't want anything to do with the child. I got pregnant because I went to a party and was an idiot. I have contacted Rose's father, but he told me to give him time to think, so I've been waiting for him to come around. 3. I have not legally adopted Lily yet. Anna and I have agreed that Lily is my child and Lily is staying at my house, but Anna is still currently her legal guardian. Right now, we are trying to figure out where Lily's father went. 4. I think I saw several people saying that I don't know how much work 2 babies will be. I definitely did not know what I was signing up for. Me and Anna thought we knew it would be hard, but this is not what I was expecting. Anna has been an absolute angel. She is probably the only reason I am still sane right now. After we realized our false expectations, Anna comes over almost daily, except for the 2 days before I had a mini breakdown, and has fallen asleep in my house a few times while caring for the kids. Another friend of ours, who I'll call James, has also been stopping by. He doesn't help with the girls because, in his own words, quote, I don't know what to do with the baby, but James makes food and cleans up the house a bit. I'm eternally grateful for both James and Anna because I would be lost without them. And 5, a lot of people have point out that telling Lily when she is old is a bad idea, and I agree with you. That was my idea. I didn't really think about how that could affect her what she finds out when she's older. I'm going to talk to Anna about this because I don't want to cause my daughter any issues down the line.
Yeah, see, like, seems like Anna is still pretty involved. Like, I don't see why, like, she shouldn't be raising her own kid. I don't know. I don't want to be like too strong on that. And I only say that because I just feel like this is just heading towards heartbreak, because the more involved she is and she goes through with the adoption and stuff like that, and she stays involved, it's just so complicated. And then who knows, maybe in like 2 months, Anna changes her mind early and decides that, hey, maybe we can do it together. Like, she's already so involved as it is. So I don't know. I don't like this adoption plan anymore, because I just feel like it's setting OP up for massive heartbreak if Anna decides that she wants to be mom in the future. And the kids. I feel like I would wait until they're like 20. I don't think that's something you can really do to them when they're old enough. That's really shocking,
though, at that age. You're going your whole life.
It's when you can handle it, because when you tell it to them early, high school, 13, 15, they are still developing, and it creates such an identity crisis where maybe like 20, 25, 30, like if they told me I'm adopted now, whatever, I can handle it.
I don't think so.
It wouldn't change anything for me.
I don't know. I think everyone's different.
I agree.
But I think most people would probably want to know earlier on.
I don't think I would want to tell them earlier on. I definitely wouldn't want to tell them until they're at least 18.
Yeah. OP's count was deleted, so there's no further updates. This was posted 27 days ago.
Yeah, I think their family's pretty shit people. Like, what the heck is wrong with them?
Yeah.
That's one of the most messiest situations. Like, yeah, I don't know. I don't think I could adopt someone else's kids when they're staying in the picture. Like, I don't think I could. I don't think I could handle raising someone's kid for X amount of years and then have them still in the picture.
Who knows? Maybe it will work out. We don't know their relationship. We don't know how Anna is.
We don't. I hope it does.
Yeah.
I wish them all the best. I really hope it does work out and everything. I just can't stop thinking about the complicatedness of the real parent sticking around and being the godmother, and not wanting to be full on mom when the kid, especially when they're 5, when they look so freaking cute. Little fingers, and they're just so cute.
Little fingers.
Yeah.
All right.
Like, after they're at a diaper stage, and they start talking to you.
That's when they're annoying, though.
You find it annoying. It's not so bad for me. I like it. It's all right. All right, moving on. And if anybody's new, we got a lot of new Spotify followers. Thank you guys for coming on board. Teresa and I, we like to do the Reddit stories first, then we give you guys little life updates about us at the end of the episode. So you guys can stay tuned for that. But I'm going to hop into my next story. This one's coming from Am I the Asshole? Am I the asshole for, quote, holding a grudge against my friend's girlfriend over an honest mistake, brackets, that almost got her killed?
Oh. Well, that changes things.
So, the situation involves my friend Alex, 27 male, and his girlfriend, 21 female. My husband, 29 male, and myself, 27 female. Last year, we all went on a camping/fishing trip that we do annually. But last year was the first time Alex's girlfriend joined us. His girlfriend is a really nice person, but she's not super outdoorsy and can be a bit absent-minded at times. So, here's the issue. Last year, we were hiking in bear country during peak bear season. Normally, this is never an issue, but you do have to be vigilant and know what to do when you encounter a bear. So last year, before we headed out on our hike, I asked my friend if he's given his girlfriend the 411 on what to do if we see a bear. He hadn't, so he asked me to. In super simple terms, I explained that if you see a grizzly bear, which is the most common bear in that area, do not scream and do not run. Avoid eye contact or sudden movement and back away slowly if they aren't moving. She listened, but I could tell she was kind of blowing me off. So she also wasn't interested in carrying bear spray or learning how to use that. We go on our hike and lo and behold, the four of us run into a bear. Oh. It was after a pretty sharp turn in the trail, so we and the bear were all startled. Alex's girlfriend reacts in the worst way imaginable, starts screaming at the top of her lungs and sprinting back down the way we came. The bear started charging at us, so we had to deploy the bear spray, which scared it off. Then we collected Alex's girlfriend and went back. We pretty much all agreed that if we hadn't had the bear spray, we would have been screwed. My beef is that Alex's girlfriend treated the whole thing like a big joke afterward. She posted on Instagram stories laughing about the whole thing and has basically shown zero embarrassment or regret over her stupid ass behavior. I didn't say anything at the time, but my husband and I basically agreed to never go anywhere outside of the city with her again. Now, the issue is Alex and his girlfriend keep asking when we're doing our annual trip, and his girlfriend made a joke about wanting round 2 with the bear. I decided instead of continuing to make excuses to just be straight up with them. I explained I didn't find the experience nearly as funny as they did, and that I was not willing to go near any wildlife with Alex's girlfriend until she smartened up. Now Alex is pissed that I'm, quote, holding a grudge, and his girlfriend is pissed that I've called her stupid, and my husband thinks I was rude for telling them the actual reason we aren't willing to go with them this year. Am I the asshole here?
No, it's always best to be truthful. And it's also shocking to me that, like, okay, if this person is joking about it, making jokes and like not being embarrassed, whatever, she's reacting that way. But then, like, how can she not see how you guys are reacting? You know what I mean? Like, if they're not laughing with you, like, I think so many people lack self-awareness. It's insane. It's like, okay, I'm sure you guys could have probably got the hint that they didn't find it funny. Like, if it wasn't for the bear spray, you could have all died. Like, this isn't something that to laugh and joke about.
Yeah, and I think, city people, maybe they see the videos of the bear kind of looking for some food on the back of the porch, and then the bear goes away. But, like, the reality is like, people die from bear attacks, and you don't get to watch those videos because those videos aren't posted on social media.
Yeah.
But the reality is people die from bears. So some people kind of, like, don't hold the same fear of the item, that they're not grounded to reality. Oh, it's a cute bear. I've seen those on Instagram before. Mm-hmm. I'm scared. I'm running away and nothing happened to me. Yet the other 3 people had to actually spray the bear. And if they didn't, they would have been fucked.
Yeah.
So some people lack the grasp on reality of certain situations of how dangerous something could be.
Yeah.
Like, it reminds me of the ones with, like, the people that go swimming in the rough waves in the ocean and stuff like that. It's like, it's just water. I can swim out of it. Well, when it's swelling in the oceans and hard currents, it's like, no, you don't go near that stuff.
Yeah.
Some people lack the fear and understanding of the gravity of the dangerous situation. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. If you're going to crack jokes about it, I'm not going anywhere with you again.
No, because it's also, like, more dangerous.
Way more.
She can have this, like, complex that, like, she thinks she's untouchable with the bear. You know what I mean? Like, oh, she was safe this one time. Maybe next time she encounters a bear, like,
she'll do the same thing.
She'll do the same thing. If not, like,
but the person won't have bear spray.
Maybe she won't run away. Like, I don't know. Maybe she'll do something even stupider this time because Yeah, because she thinks like she's untouchable. She's immune. I don't know. Like she survived. So
If someone's putting themselves in a dangerous situation, whether or not they can accept it or not, I feel like you have a moral obligation to tell them that they're a fucking idiot.
yeah, literally.
Like if you're doing something stupid or you see somebody doing something stupid, you need to tell them. Regardless if they don't take it well and then you become the asshole, sometimes it's okay to be the asshole in their eyes.
Yep.
Because honestly, at the end of the day, like you're doing the better thing for them. Like
If it's gonna save their life.
yeah,
Yeah.
if it's going to save their life. Like if I see someone like riding a dirt bike, I always want to make sure that their helmet is done up or they're wearing a helmet. You know, my cousins at the farm, they be riding dirt bikes and they think they're cool and stuff. And I always point out to them, I'm like, where's your helmet? I don't need the helmet. I'm like, yes, you do. You need the helmet. You're being an idiot. They put the helmet on. They don't do the chin strap up. Why do you not have the chin strap done up? What's the point of wearing the helmet if you're not going to do the safety strap up? It's just going to fly off. You're being an idiot. I'll tell you when you're being an idiot.
Yeah.
And I think they owe that to them. And yeah, instead of just making excuses about why they don't want them to come on your annual trip, it's like, I don't want to go on the annual trip with you because you put my life in danger.
Exactly.
So you put your life and my life in danger.
Yes.
I'm not dealing with that. You can't be the asshole. They're a freaking asshole for not understanding the gravity of the situation.
Yes. Like they should be understanding of that. Like, yes, if it wasn't for the bear spray, we could have all died. And that's your fault.
Yeah.
So no, I don't want to be around you and wildlife anymore.
And I'm not sorry for calling you stupid when you're stupid.
Yes, exactly.
You're getting upset for someone calling you stupid. When you did a stupid thing,
Yeah.
you need to check yourself.
If it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck,
It might be a duck.
you're stupid.
Yeah. So yeah, like that's how I feel about it.
Yeah.
Tell them. That reminds me of we went hiking a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
We went hiking a couple weeks ago and we came to this trail and there's the trailhead at the beginning and I saw this sign that was warning about bears. And I'm like, you know what? It's the smart thing to read the sign to make sure that you know what to do. And it said the exact same thing. Don't run, don't scream. If the bear charges at you, then make yourself as big as possible. Don't climb up a tree. But it said keep eye contact or like keep looking at it. Or don't make eye contact.
Big.
Make yourself big and back away slowly. And
Yeah.
that's what it said to do. So I read that, point that out to Teresa, and then we go on the hike. And the whole time, Teresa's on edge.
I was petrified. I couldn't enjoy myself.
Looking for bears.
Because we've never been. We live in Ontario. Like, we live in southern Ontario, near the city.
Toronto.
So,
We live in Toronto.
Yes.
We live in a condo by the CN Tower on the lake shore.
literally downtown. So I don't experience. I've never been on a hike where it says beware of bears. Like,
I did grow up on a farm, so I'm a little less scared of these things.
well, I wasn't expecting there to be, and I didn't bring my bear spray at that time.
You do have bear spray too.
I do have it. It's not for bears.
For the other part.
But
the other thing of the saying.
But I didn't end up bringing it because I didn't think I needed it. I was with you, so yeah, I was very scared. But I always say, like, if I do encounter them, I won't act stupid, but I would just sacrifice myself for you.
You don't have to outrun the bear. You just have to outrun the person beside you. I would have to pick her up. She'd be like, I'm sacrificing
Like,
myself.
there's no way I would survive.
I'll have to pick you up and run.
I think about that all the time. Not even just bears, but like, I don't know. I just don't see myself surviving a near-death experience like that.
I see myself surviving all near-death experiences and saving you, so it's all good.
I'm glad you're confident.
Yeah, we got this. Top comment on this post. Not the asshole. She endangered everyone's life and is unapologetic about it. She will likely make the same mistake again, and it may not turn out as well. I think people have a right to know how they screwed up, and this means they can do better in the future or just ignore it and suffer the consequences.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Perfectly said. All right.
Moving on?
Yep.
Let's do it.
Okay. This one comes from relationship advice. My 35 male, significant other, 37 female, is a Reddit troll, and I am absolutely dumbfounded on what to do. I came home from work today and noticed my partner just sitting at her desk laughing to herself with her headphones on, so I assumed she was watching a movie or something and left it at that. Not long after, I poked my head round as I was going to ask her what she wanted for dinner, and to my surprise, she was on Reddit, which was odd to me because she is an anti-social media, etc. But I thought it was nice she was trying something as she suffers from agoraphobia and doesn't get out much without me. I briefly got a glimpse at her name and thought it would be interesting to see what she had posted. Yes, I know this was an invasion of privacy. And to my shock, the account was 8 years old. This means it's predated our relationship by a couple of years. What was even more shocking was the stuff that she had said on there. So much hate towards random people for seemingly no reason at all. This was not just one comment here and there either. Literally just an account dedicated to hating on people, and she seemed proud of it in her comments. One recent example was she spent an entire day just hassling someone. It doesn't even stop there because she will make up stories, fat shame people, bullying those with disabilities. This one hurts as she knows that I have autism, and claims everyone who tells her she needs help is quote-unquote projecting. I would sometimes come back from work and she would be in a bad mood, but wouldn't tell me why. Upon looking at her comment history, a lot of her bad moods seem to line up with days she got downvoted a lot. She even goes as far as to lie about her physical appearance just to bring down others. It's sick. How do I even approach this? This stuff is just downright hateful, and I don't want her to freak out at me. What do I even do? I'm scared she is one argument away from someone coming to find her.
No, you don't. You don't confront her. You just live happily ever after.
By yourself?
By yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you leave. Imagine. I'm
What a
just like chilling
secret.
on the computer and you find my secret Reddit account and it's just 8 years of me talking rude shit online behind the social media, online stuff. I hate that.
Yes.
Hate
No,
that
I
stuff.
hate that too.
I couldn't even look at you the same way
That's
anymore.
the thing.
Because I would just be like, you're a completely different person.
Exactly. Like, if you have so much hate towards people that you don't know, like, you are not the person that I thought you were.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I wouldn't want to be with you. That's so biggest ick, first of all. And like, I don't know, if you're saying mean things about strangers online, like, what do you truly think about me? And like he said about, like, she's making fun of people with mental issues, like, what do you think about me? I have autism. Like, are you secretly judging me? Like,
I wouldn't be able to handle that. It's a good red flag checker. Check your spouse's Google reviews before you get into a big relationship.
Yeah, literally.
Or something. Check out their Reddit profile. That's wild.
Top comment. Chances are she already knows via this post.
Oh. Yeah, probably.
Okay, so there's an update.
She found it.
No. I had a lot of message requests asking if the post was about them. If you thought that, then I think it's time to stop your crappy behavior. I want to address some comments from the last post. I'm pretty sure she is blocked from this subreddit, as all of her comments on this sub were removed according to a remove Reddit site, and I also blocked her account while slightly adjusting the ages. After sitting for a good hour last night, looking down her profile in depth and bookmarking her worst stuff, I decided to bring it up with her. I was going to ask a mutual friend around, but I didn't want to embarrass her, so I instead put my phone on record in my pocket in case she was going to claim I did anything against her. I waited until after lunch and asked her if she could stay there for a minute, set my phone to record, and then brought up screenshots on a tablet. Her face dropped. She walked out of the room after a few seconds of scrolling. I was going to go after her, but I left it. She came down and just said sorry. I asked why she was saying sorry to me, to which she responded, I don't know. I asked why she did it, and I just got another, I don't know. I showed her one of the screenshots where she claims, quote, my friend loves how much of a... And I asked if any of her friends knew, and she said no, just me. I brought up the fact that I couldn't wrap my head around why someone would dedicate so much time to this, and she said, at first it was just a way to blow off steam, but then it felt nice because I saw people were agreeing with me, and it became a part of my daily routine, I guess. After some more talking, I addressed how much she hurt me with her attacks on people with mental health problems, to which she just said, I doubt they even had issues. They were probably just playing victim. because they were losing the argument. I have packed my things and I'm going to stay at a friend's house. I'm going to block Reddit on the ISP and ask her to not contact me for a couple of days while I think. I have also asked her to find a place to stay as I can't stay at my mate's for too long and I want to go on a break. If I'm honest, I don't know if I will ever want to see her again. I was going to ask her to apologize to everyone she caused shit for, but at this point, I know she won't mean it. Any further updates will be done via this post, but it's been blocked.
Yeah. Good. Yeah, just get out. Just get out. That person is sad, and they can't even, like, get out. It's not the person that you were dating.
Yeah, it's not the same person. She's living a double life. She's like freaking Hannah Montana.
And, like, it's just, I feel like it's a really shit character of a person. Anybody who talks shit on people behind the screen. I mean, we've dealt with it. With our podcasts, like TikTok and Instagram, like, we've had some, like, trolls on our stuff where they just, like, say nasty things that are just, like, unnecessary. And I'm just like, you're a pretty shit human being if, like, because you can hide behind the screen and you just say these things. And it's like at the end of the day, like, you still have to type it out. You still have to think it, type it, click send, reply to other people. Like, yeah, it's a digital version, but it's a digital version of yourself and your consciousness. So
yeah, like, if you can sleep with yourself at night doing that, like, I don't know what to tell you.
I wouldn't want to be around you.
Yeah, no, I definitely wouldn't want to be dating someone or potentially spending the rest of my life with someone who does this. Like, this is a really, really big issue. Like, even though it doesn't really affect you or your relationship, like, this is
huge issue into their mindset.
Yeah, exactly.
Personality. I don't think I've ever talked shit online.
No, and I say that all the time when we receive hate comments. I'm like, how do these people, like, actually just sit there and type it out? Like, I would never, ever think to waste my time and just be so hateful against strangers online. Like, I can't wrap my head around that.
I love the ones where people comment and they're like, you guys suck so bad, I skipped next, so I'm not listening. And it's like, but you commented.
Yeah.
And now you're going to see more of our videos because you commented. The algorithm's going to be like, the algorithm doesn't know you're talking shit. It just knows that a comment is something that they'll want you to engage with more in the future. So they're going to show you more of our stuff. It's like, why?
Yeah. You've done the online social media for a lot longer than I have. We're only 6 months into this podcast. This is very new for me, so it's hard for me to encourage or accept any comments as they are, even if they are hate comments. They do trigger me.
Yeah.
I'm trying to work through that.
You are.
But
I've been at it for like 5 years, so I'm already like phased out of all of that stuff.
You honestly like the hate comments. I said, your BMW channel.
Yeah, my BMW, TikTok, and YouTube channel. Like, I enjoy the hate comments because it makes me happy to know that you were so miserable in life that you took wasted your precious time. We only get so much time on Earth, and you wasted your time commenting on my video just to have more of my videos show up in your feed. So it makes me happy.
You're flattered.
Yeah, it makes me happy.
I don't take it the same way. Hopefully it'll change, maybe with time, but I'm still fairly new to this.
One thing I've learned in life is no matter what you do, you will always have haters, and that, you know, people are always going to talk shit, so you just got to tune it out because there'll always be haters. Anybody who's done anything worthwhile had somebody who didn't think it was worthwhile. Somebody invented the light bulb, somebody invented the toilet. Why would we want the toilet? We go to the shack outside. You know, all these things are always improved and invented, and that person always received a shit ton of hate before it was successful. So just do what makes you happy, and don't let other people slow you down. People don't want to see you successful. They want you to stay on the same level as them.
Yeah, and I think that's when jealousy comes out. But
yep, 100%.
Yeah.
I actually want to share a quote that I actually found the other day from a YouTube channel I was watching, and I absolutely love this quote. I want to like frame this in our house because this kind of like this sticks so true to everything that we've done or we're trying to accomplish right now, everything that I've been trying to accomplish. And the quote is, there are people less qualified than you doing the things you want to do because they believe in themselves and take action.
I love it.
And I've lived by that like a long time. Like I remember when I started my BMW account. I remember when I started my BMW account like 5 years ago, there wasn't a single like car salesperson who was like doing social media or anything like that. And now every time I'm scrolling through TikTok or like I'm on that account, like there's so many like dealership salespeople and like dealerships that are like trying to get on TikTok and Instagram. And I'm like, I feel like I was like one of the first people.
Trendsetter.
Yeah, that were doing that like 5 years ago. And I just felt like I watched the one YouTube video of like Graham Stephan on like how much YouTube ad revenue makes you, and I'm like, damn, okay, like let's start this. Let's get into it. Like I might not be qualified, but I'm just gonna wing myself through it, and hopefully I improve. And I feel like that's the mentality that I have with this podcast. And I'm like, I'm just gonna try to improve every single episode. We'll try to make it a little bit better, and just try to improve because there's other people out there that are living the RV life. They're building, barndominiums. They're building homesteads, building stuff like. And they believe and they take action. So I'm going to do that from now on. So I want to like quote and print this out and put in like a little picture frame at the front of our house. If Teresa will let me, we'll find out.
Yeah, I'm down.
Let's do it.
Yeah, everything you said is true. And we wouldn't be doing this podcast if it wasn't for you and your mindset.
I remember when we started this podcast, we were talking about this today. And I remember when I started this podcast, originally we planned to do like RV life. We had no idea how we were actually like going to do RV life. And I was like, because like 2 weeks before I had this idea for this podcast, I was like, we should do like when we're on the road, we should do like an RV podcast. And as we're traveling around, we could like talk to different people and it could be like part of the theme of the podcast. And then like a couple weeks later, I was like, no, we should do the one about Reddit stories. And then Teresa's like, no, like let's not do that until we get on the road in the RV life. And I was like, well, when is that happening? Who knows when that's happening? Maybe this will help us get to RV life. And I was like, listen, I'm gonna buy the stuff. And I'm like, would you at the most just entertain me by sitting on the couch with me and just let me read Reddit stories to you and see how it is? And not only did she do that, she came up with her own stories coming into that first 1 hour long episode. And here we are. What is this, 32? We're on episode 32 now. So it's been insane. And actually, honestly, it wouldn't be happening without you guys listening to us. So thank you guys so much. Everybody that comes out or listens and watches on YouTube, we appreciate you guys so much. And it keeps it going.
Yes. We appreciate you guys so much. And I think this is a good reminder that like, you should just start.
Just do something.
Do that. Start that podcast that you want.
Start
if it's
that YouTube
reading
channel.
Reddit stories, we encourage it. Start that business that you've always wanted to do. Start that YouTube channel. Like,
go back to school.
Just do it.
Start that new job. Apply for that dream job.
Exactly. Apply. Like, yeah. Same with jobs. Like, you can apply to any job. Like, even if you're underqualified, like there is still a chance that they hire you.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm experiencing that. I don't know. Like,
yep.
You
got a new job.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about it at the end of the episode. Yep. But I did just accept a new job, and this was a job that I'm like it was like a really, really good offer, and I'm really happy that I went for it because I'm really excited for it, and it wouldn't have happened if I didn't apply.
Exactly.
So. Yeah, just do it. I don't know how the story turned into that, but
I don't know. Are we back to the story? Is the story over? Where are we?
No, the story's over.
All right, so we're gonna move on to the next story.
Yeah.
Before we get there, thank you guys so much. Share with your friends and family, helps us out. Smashing the like button on YouTube channel or dropping a comment on Spotify. We also have Patreon for bonus episodes. And just thank you all so much for the support. Let's get back to the story.
All right.
My turn. Your turn.
Your turn.
My turn. Okay. This one's coming from AITAH. It was posted 1 month ago. Am I the asshole for throwing away my husband's Father's Day gift after what he did on Mother's Day? My husband and I have 2 kids, 6-year-old boy and 6-month-old girl. He told me 2 weeks leading up to Mother's Day that he had the entire weekend planned for me. This is not normal. There has been years in the past where I did complain and feel hurt because he didn't really do much of anything for me on Mother's Day. But I always went all out for him on Father's Day, and it just left me feeling unappreciated. So I'm thinking that he finally understood where I was coming from and was going to make it special for me this year. I quite literally only asked for a massage, and he repeatedly said that he couldn't just give me one massage because that wasn't enough. So, like, I don't know. At this point, I'm truly thinking this man was going to go all out. Anyway, Friday rolls around and a bunch of people start showing up. He invited a good 10 to 15 people over. I think I knew like 2 of those people. He then called it the Mother's Day bonfire. We had a fire all right, but I was the one who chased the kids around all evening. My 6-year-old while I'm still holding my 8-month baby. And some other person's 2 kids because they weren't watching them. And quite literally, no one even spoke to me at all. I wasn't acknowledged until the very end of the evening, and that was by my husband's buddy who told me he was, quote, stealing my husband to go out four-wheeling. It's like 11 p.m. at this point, and everyone except me was drinking. I said my husband wasn't going anywhere. I even said this to my husband, quote, you're drinking, you're not going anywhere. He took that as oh, I need to find a designated driver and then I can go. So he asked the neighbor to drive him around and took off with everyone. I'm extremely hurt at this point because this was my promised weekend for Mother's Day, and I got stuck with other people's kids, wasn't spoken to at all, and had a mess to clean up, and now my husband is taking off to go four-wheelering? WTF. I explained how hurt I was the next morning. He says he gets it and apologizes and said he just had too much to drink and wasn't clearly thinking. Okay, I get it. It's whatever. We didn't do anything on Saturday because he spent half the day sleeping off his hangover. Well, yesterday rolls around and his boss calls him at 6 a.m. and asks him to come into work because they are short-staffed. And guess what? He said yes. I expressed that I was hurt and said, but it's Mother's Day. And he said, yeah, I know, I'm sorry. I just don't want to pass up the opportunity to get more hours. Which, I get that too, so whatever. He gets home at 5 p.m. and starts getting the kids dressed and ushered towards the door, so I'm thinking we're finally going to celebrate. We end up going on a walk. I love walking, but 5 minutes in, he's complaining and has us turn around because of the black flies, and they actually weren't even that bad. So again, I'm disappointed. When we get back home, he lays down on the couch and says, oh, your gift is in the truck. So I have to go down to the truck to get the gift. Turns out it's a $5 storage container for sugar and flour. I do like stuff like this, but I'm just so hurt at this point. I ask him if I can at least get a massage, and he says, I'm sorry, babe. I'm just so tired. And he falls asleep at 8 p.m. when he usually doesn't even go to bed until midnight or 1 a.m. I just sat there crying. I took the 3 gifts that I already bought him for Father's Day and chucked them in the trash can. They were personalized items that cost me more than I want to admit, but I don't even care anymore. He then found them in the garbage this morning and asked me why they were there and why they were in the trash covered in food, and I told him they were his Father's Day gifts, and I left it at that. He's now saying that he, quote, tried to make the weekend special and that he's hurt by me throwing away his gifts in retaliation against him for it not turning out the way that he wanted it to. So, am I the asshole?
Nope. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. What? Okay. Weaponized incompetence. That is.
Damn.
That is what this
Spot
is sounding
on.
like.
Yep.
I don't care how much you freaking tried. How much you think you tried. You didn't actually try that freaking hard, buddy.
No, if you tried, you would accomplish.
Like, she laid it out for you just what she wanted. She wanted a freaking massage, this poor lady. No. You think inviting 15 strangers into your home for you to host is a gift?
Yeah, hosting is not a gift.
And then you taking a shift on Mother's Day after she expresses to you how unappreciated she feels, you're going to take that shift. And after she says how much she's hurt, you're still going to go into the shift?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, he ends the call, says yes, and then she says, I'm disappointed. And he's like, I'm still going to go.
Yep.
Like,
It should have been, let me check with my wife. Most likely not, let me check with my wife.
yes. Yes, exactly. Especially on Mother's Day. This is how you create resentment. And
This is actions that lead to divorce.
yeah, it is. Like, even though it's not like, I mean, I guess it is a really big issue. Like, if this keeps happening,
It sounds like it has been happening.
yeah, like,
It sounds like
Yeah.
she's fed up with it.
You're
Mother's Day
gonna-
sucked last year for her too.
Yeah, you're going to start resenting him. And the fact that you are telling him, you're communicating how you feel, and he's not doing anything about that, it's going to create more tension and resentment, and it's not going to end well. And
No.
unfortunately, you're doing everything that you can by communicating those feelings with him, and he's just not understanding, and he's not willing to try to make it right. And
Yeah.
he won't realize that until you leave.
Exactly. Yeah.
And that is the sad part. Like, that's usually what happens, because I feel like most people usually do communicate when things are going wrong, but like partners don't understand,
Not receptive.
and you don't realize that until it's too late
Yeah.
and the person's already checked out.
Why didn't you communicate this to me?
Yeah.
I fucking did.
You
bud.
did. Like,
Top comment. Not the asshole, but please, for the love of everything, stop making excuses like he drank too much. Sit him down and tell him what an utter disappointment this Mother's Day was because of all the things that he wanted to do that were fun for him. That he left you with children to wrangle that weren't even yours on a day that should have been celebrating you, while he did things that he wanted to.
exactly.
Yeah, bro, you suck. You guys need some advice out there for Mother's Day for your wife? Spa day. Just get them a spa day. Take the kids. Let them not be around the kids. You take the kids.
Yeah. Show some initiative. And not only on Mother's Day. I think, like, I don't know.
I actually kind of agree with that statement. I feel like your relationship should be so well oiled that all you need to do for Mother's Day is get a tiny little gift that says Happy Mother's Day. No Mother's Day should be no actual holiday or anything should be a huge expression of like making up for other things and stuff like that. Your relationship should be such a well-oiled machine that it doesn't matter what you did for Mother's Day. It could be the smallest little simplest thing, because you are already doing everything else to support your relationship.
Yeah.
You don't need to go out and have a whole weekend dedicated to a Mother's Day. Like, that should be your regular thing. And then like Mother's Day is like just getting like some simple flowers with like a card, like Happy Mother's Day, just like a little bit of appreciation and stuff. It doesn't need to be like this huge grand gesture of things, because you could have your actual relationship just be appreciative stuff all the time.
Yeah,
Smooth sailing.
exactly. I think what you're trying to say is like, it shouldn't be different from any other day. You should already be doing those gestures and having that like 50-50 relationship with your kids.
Yeah,
and
exactly. Yeah.
It shouldn't be much different. Like, there shouldn't be a drastic change
Exactly.
from any other normal day.
Yeah.
And I agree with that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Put in the work.
Yeah. All right.
Moving on?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Jackie Boy has joined us. We'll see how long he lasts. Might be 30 seconds. It might be half an hour. We'll see how long Jack wants to co-host, make some biscuits for us in the background here. If you guys don't know what Jack looks like and you want to check him out, he is our beautiful white Scottish straight kitty cat, little chunky boy. You can check us out on YouTube if you want to see what he looks like.
All right. This one comes from AITAH. Am I the asshole for not celebrating my birthday with my wife after she canceled our honeymoon this year for her solo trip to Europe? My wife, 32 female, and I, 33 male, got married a couple of months ago, and my wife went on a solo trip to Europe. She always wanted to do the solo trip, but she never had the time to do so because of work. However, she used the honeymoon time for her solo trip. I wanted to accompany her to her trip, but she said she needed this for her mental health, and I ultimately agreed, even though I was sad about it. She thanked me many times for being understanding of this, but I put it on the back of my mind and tried not to think too much about it because I was really excited about our wedding. The wedding was great, and my wife left for her Europe trip the next day. I really missed my wife, and it affected my mental health. And my wife came back home on my birthday last Thursday, but I was out of town celebrating it with my sibling, 31 female. When my wife texted me asking me where I was, I told her I would come back on the weekend. I came back home on Sunday feeling extremely happy, but my wife says she wished she could have celebrated my birthday with me because she had planned something special. I told her I definitely would from next year, but this year I needed to celebrate it with someone else for my mental health. Was I the asshole?
I mean, why did they even get married? Like, who starts their marriage off by going on a solo trip on their honeymoon?
The next day. The day after you get married.
Like, do you not want to be with the person you got married to?
You're newlyweds.
I need to go on a solo adventure so that I can mentally deal with now being married to you.
Like, what is wrong with you?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Like, that is that's a big red flag by itself. Like, come on. And the fact that you said yes, like, I would have 100% had a problem with it. And I think you should have been truthful with her, how you felt. Like, I know you probably thought that you were doing her a favor by, like, letting her do this, but, like the last story, like, you're just going to create resentment. And I think that's what you're doing here. Like, you knew she was coming back for your birthday, but you didn't want to spend it with her because you are resenting her for taking this solo trip.
Yep.
So why did you let her in the first place? Why did you say yes?
Yeah. Like, you are being an asshole at this point now.
Yeah, but I don't know.
I mean, he's being an asshole.
I don't know.
You agreed for her to go on the solo.
You did agree, yeah.
Solo thing by herself. What the fuck is wrong with her for even needing that? What the fuck is wrong with you for not telling her how you feel about that? But that's done and that's in the past, and now you're venging or getting even for your birthday after you know she's coming back. Like, yeah, like you're being an asshole. Like, I'm not even gonna say sometimes it's okay to be an asshole on this one. Like, why the fuck did you guys even get married?
Yeah. So much is wrong with this situation.
Yeah.
Top comment. So your new wife left for Europe by herself for 2+ months the day after you got married? She couldn't have split that time up with you? Do a couple weeks solo and then have you meet up with her? Sounds fishy AF. Why did she even get married if she still needs to do a solo thing? Makes zero sense.
Yeah, wait, 2 months?
I think
2
I missed
weeks.
that.
I missed that. 2 months?
Does
like,
it
hold
say
on a
2
second.
months?
Not only are you going on a solo trip, you're gone for 2.5 months? Like, huh? Huh?
Where does it say 2 months? Did I miss that?
Did this person assume that? I'm so confused.
Okay, well, there is an update. Or, sorry, there's an edit. I don't know if it's in this edit, maybe. Edit. I think people are misunderstanding what I have asked. I did not ask if my wife was wrong in taking the trip. I asked if I was wrong to not celebrate my birthday with her. My wife did go on the solo trip. We were in constant contact, and she had a blast there. She had a lot of fun. We FaceTimed each other every night. However, I did miss her badly, and I am thankful for my sister who got me out of my funk. But in the process, I sort of ghosted my wife. I sent only a couple of texts when she landed home and when she wished me happy birthday. And I barely responded to her texts the next few days and did not pick up any of her calls till I got back home on Sunday. But ever since I've come home, she has been feeling a bit down, and I am feeling a bit guilty about it.
They're both assholes. Maybe they're meant for each other. This is so weird.
It's toxic. It's sounding...
Why would you want to go... Maybe people don't have the relationship that we have.
I'm starting to realize that.
Why would I want to marry someone and then not go on a honeymoon? Not only did she go off solo, he didn't even get a honeymoon. He's like left at home to go to work.
Yeah, I know. Like the day after you're married, like...
I could not imagine going on any trip without you.
I know.
It doesn't sound fun. You're my best friend. Why would I ever want to go anywhere without you?
Honestly, same. And maybe we're toxic for that, but...
Toxic. Awesome.
That was so weird.
Awesome toxicness. I don't know.
I'm not seeing where it says 2 months, but there's a lot of comments about it being 2 months.
Maybe he made a comment or something. That's weird. Yeah, but you kind of are the asshole. You are, because you let her go on it. You're not communicating. You should have communicated your shit. I mean, she's kind of an asshole for even asking for it, but you're an asshole also for retaliating.
Oh, there's an update. I didn't see this update, but there's an update.
Ooh.
So yes, reading the comments, I do now realize that my wife taking a trip to Europe right after our wedding was just not good. I still love my wife. We have been together for more than a decade, but I am now having second doubts. Also because my family never really liked her, but I always ignored what they said because I was probably too in love. I showed the Reddit post to my wife and all the comments, and she didn't have much to say. She only apologized and said it was insensitive of her to take the trip. I told her I wanted a temporary break. I work remote so I can work from anywhere in the country. I am flying out of my sister's house next week and will probably stay there for at least a month. I told my wife I just need some space from her. My wife was pretty shocked, but I told her that ever since she's come home, she's just been a downer even though she had an amazing trip, and I need some time away from her. This is not working.
Yeah, that's not a break. You guys, like, why'd you even get married? This is messed up. Who takes you don't take breaks. I would no, breaks are not a real thing. Breaks are just, we need to break up.
Top comment. So to sum it up, your newlywed wife left you the day after your wedding, using your honeymoon time for a 2-month European vacation without you, then is disappointed she didn't get to spend a day with you and is now shocked that you'll be leaving her for a month. Yeah, I see this going well.
Literally.
Disaster. They're both toxic.
They're both. Yeah. I mean, him less so, but also like you didn't communicate, you didn't tell her how you feel, just cut her off when you know she came back right for your birthday. Like, I don't know. This is just like, why you guys even married? Like, it makes no sense.
It's sounding really immature.
Yeah. This makes no sense.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's all.
Who would ever want to do that?
Not me.
Not me either.
Where are we going for our honeymoon? Who the heck knows?
Maldives.
No.
We might not have any money left after we build this house. So
they don't know what we're talking about yet.
I'm sorry. Spoiler for the end of the episode.
We mentioned it on our Patreon, but not the last episode.
See, those are the bonuses that you get from being Patreon members. So, but back to me.
Yep.
Okay. This one's coming from 27 days ago. Am I the asshole? Am I the asshole for walking out of the bridal salon when I found out my friends were making fun of me behind my back?
On our wedding day?
No.
Oh.
Bridal salon.
Bridal salon.
What is that?
I'm picturing it being like she's the bride.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I have 2 friends, Gabby and Shelly. All of us are 23, if that even matters. We were roommates in college and stayed in the same city after graduation. While the 3 of us are close, I've always known that Gabby and Shelly are the closest. They have a really sweet friendship. Shelly is getting married. Gabby is the maid of honor and I'm one of the bridesmaids. Over the weekend, I went with Shelly so she could look at wedding dresses. Gabby was supposed to come with us but got called into work last minute. I helped Shelly pick out some dresses, then she went with the consultant to try them on. Shelly asked that I take pictures and videos on her phone to send to her mom and Gabby. I was getting the camera ready when I saw one of my Instagram pictures in their private chat from earlier that morning. Both were making fun of me for the face I was making and my outfit choice, and it didn't appear to be in any good nature. I admit curiosity got the best of me, so I searched for my name in the chat. I found multiple pictures that I, my boyfriend, or my mom had posted of myself, absolutely ripping me to shreds, ranging from selfies to posted shots to even a few baby pictures. They'd make fun of me in general in terms of the way that I talked, wore my hair, and the way I ate. This went back for, as far as I can tell, at least a year. My heart broke. It all felt so juvenile and high schoolish. While we all joke around, I would never do this to them, nor have they ever tried to instigate these types of conversations with me about the other one-on-one. I was in tears. As someone who was bullied all through middle and high school, it just brought me back to that horrible place. I put the phone in Shelly's purse and brought it to another employee, telling her to tell Shelly that I had to go. I drove home and had a long cry. Shelly texted me by the time I made it home asking where I went. I said I was going home and we could talk later. When she did call a few hours later, she was understandably confused and hurt that I left. I told her what I found and explaining that I only looked further because of the initial text I accidentally saw. She went off on me for looking through her private texts and said those were none of my business. She also told me I shouldn't have left the store without saying anything. I said I didn't want to make a scene, but I also knew I couldn't fake being happy for her. Shelley told me the texts were, quote, all in good fun, and clearly she loves me because I'm going to be her bridesmaid. She added that I'm only hurt because I chose to read all those texts. Later on, Gabby called to tell me that I invaded Shelley's privacy and hurt her by walking out. My boyfriend and my mom think I did the right thing by walking out, but obviously they're a little biased. I just want some unbiased looks. Am I an asshole to look through someone's text and then leave?
No. This is like a classic example of like finding out that your boyfriend is cheating and then him getting mad at you because you looked through his phone.
Yeah, like boo-hoo, you're caught.
Like, yeah, you're mad that you got caught, and I'm glad she went through your phone because now she sees your true colors and now she actually knows who you guys are, and that's little bitches.
Yeah, just because you think that you're friends and, you know, obviously you love me because you're making me your bridesmaid, like, that's bullshit. That doesn't mean that you get, like, talk shit, be so toxic behind someone's back. You don't actually love them. You're just a piece of shit.
No, I don't understand how you can make someone your bridesmaid when you talk shit like that.
Right? I never understood people like it happened in high school too, where like some people would like talk shit on other people, and I'm like, aren't you their friends?
It's always like the bigger friend groups, I find.
Yeah.
Like people who have like a ton of friends, you know?
I was like, aren't you their friend? And whenever somebody talks shit about somebody behind their back, I lost all respect for that person. I was a huge believer of like not talking shit behind someone's back. Yeah. Unless like everybody knows like I don't like them. Like I don't mind talking shit on someone, but I don't pretend to be their friend.
Exactly.
Like if I'm talking shit about them, everybody knows that I don't like this person and that's why I'm talking shit. You would never find me talking shit about one of my friends or somebody that thought I was their friend or something like that. I would never talk shit about it. So if I'm in a group and that person's talking shit about someone who I'm like, aren't we all friends? Like, aren't you friends with that? Whatever, like I instantly lost respect for that person and I would no longer trust them with anything. Like, if you're talking shit about them to me behind their back, who's to say that you don't talk shit about me behind my back to them?
Exactly.
So I would instantly I would see right through them and I would think they're the fake. So if you're in a group of friends and somebody is talking shit about someone that you think they're friends with, keep in mind they're probably doing the same thing about you behind your back.
Exactly. And that it's such like a vicious cycle, because if you're like talking shit about other friends, they're probably talking shit about you too, and it's just like everyone's talking shit about each other. No one actually really likes each other. It's like, or your friends.
Yeah. And if you think you really like someone, but you're still willing to talk shit on them, you need to check yourself, because that is not good.
Yes. I agree.
If you think it's all fun and games and, yeah, no, I truly love them, but I'm going to talk shit on them, you're fucked in the head.
I don't get it. Like, I don't understand that, and I never will.
Nope. That's some toxic ass shit.
Yeah. It's also, like, very immature. I don't know. But to make someone your bridesmaid is, like, a next level. It's not only just like being friends with that person, but like you want them a part of a really special day of your life, and you don't even like this person, it seems.
Yeah, why?
Why do you want them a part of your special day?
Very odd. Top comment, not the asshole. If I was in your place, I think I'd drop out of being in the wedding.
Yeah.
It's one thing to jokingly make fun of someone one time, but it seems like they have done this to you a bunch of times, and it doesn't seem like it was lighthearted. If I was you, I wouldn't feel bad about looking through those messages at all. She handed her phone to you and feels like fate took the opportunity to expose them to you for who they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's God's will giving you those text messages.
Exactly. Like, you're lucky that you found them.
It's a blessing.
Yeah. Now you get to cut those people off and leave her with one less bridesmaid.
I wouldn't be going to that wedding.
Absolutely not.
Nope.
No.
Wouldn't give that person any more of my time.
No.
Don't deserve it.
All right.
Moving on. Back to you, Teresa Operisano.
Thank you, Denver too. Okay, this one comes from True Off My Chest. I ruined my cousin's future wedding and I feel no shame. There's a content warning for sexual assault. Maybe I'm a horrible person for doing this, but after what happened to me, I honestly don't care anymore. When I was a preteen, I was sexually abused by a cousin who was just a few months older than me. I didn't want to do it, but he told me he wouldn't play with me anymore if I didn't let him do as he wanted. At the time, I was dealing with moving to a new city and my younger brother being diagnosed with autism, which led to me getting thrown under the bus by our parents. Cousin was the only person who was making me feel good about myself, you know? Well, my mom found out, and my parents made me promise to never ever tell anyone because it would have hurt my aunt's feelings, so no action was taken. This, along with several other factors, caused me to develop some severe mental health issues that I'm still dealing with today, over 20 years later. When I finally did tell someone, I felt like I had betrayed my parents. It took me years of therapy to realize that they had betrayed me. Well, cousin went for a self-destructive path that culminated in him almost dying as a result of hard drugs. But I guess he had, quote-unquote, come to Jesus moment or something, because the next thing I heard, he had completely turned his life around. He settled down in a good job, got clean, and started dating. Not once did he ever reach out to apologize to me. Not once did he say, "I'm sorry I hurt you." And that always gave me pause. I don't know. You'd think it makes sense to reach out to people you've hurt, to at least acknowledge you've hurt, and that you regret it. Well, it came out that he was engaged. Everyone was happy for him. She seemed like a sweet person, and he was happy. And I struggled with telling her the truth. I'd want to know what kind of man I'd be marrying. But at the same time, what if he had changed? What if he really had turned over a new leaf? It was something I struggled with. The thing that ultimately made me decide to tell her the truth was when I learned she had a niece the same age I was when he abused me. I was scared he'd abuse her the same way he abused me, and I knew I would never be able to live with myself if he had hurt that girl and I said nothing. So I wrote a letter. I must have drafted and redrafted it at least 4 times before it felt perfect. I had to have someone else send it because I was scared I'd turn chicken. The dust had finally settled. I just got word that she had broken off the engagement and that my cousin is devastated. Even though the letter is anonymous, he figured out it was me and told people. I'm getting bombarded left and right by family who have shamed me for not letting things go, and that he had started a new life. Why couldn't I just leave it? He had moved on. Why shouldn't I? I've gone low contact with them for now. Mom is on my side and has started sharing her side of the story. She's devastated and is begging me to forgive her for failing to protect me. I have. I don't know if I did the right thing or not, if it would be my fault if cousin spiraled back into drugs, breaking the law, and self-destructive behavior. But I honestly don't feel bad about it. Not sure what that says about me.
Nope, I don't give a fuck. You do shit things, it's going to follow you forever. I don't give a single fuck. I will stay in your life just enough to find out the next time that you're dating a woman, and I will tell her every single time. I will tell every single person you ever try to date again. You want to get out from under it? Cut your life off and go move to Alaska.
Especially when you are not taking accountability for your actions, you're not apologizing, you're still letting OP walk around every day with this thing that you did to her. And she has to live with that every single day. And just because you found God or some shit doesn't mean that other people aren't still hurting because of what you did.
Yeah, it doesn't mean that you're still not a piece of shit.
Yeah. You can be over it, obviously, because it didn't affect you, but your actions have consequences. And now, even 20 years later, they come to bite you in the ass.
Good.
Yep.
Good.
Yeah. Top comment. Don't feel bad about it. You are just telling people what he did to you. He did them. True remorse requires accountability from him. He hasn't done that. You basically did it for yourself, what your parents should have done all those years ago.
Exactly. You reap what you sow. He did it.
Yeah, and the parents make me really sad too. That's like, you're trying to protect other people's feelings. What about your kid?
Literally.
Like,
they never had to go through the same thing. They don't know shit.
Yeah. Like, you don't know how badly that can mess with someone. They have to live with that every day, and you're putting like this, what's it called? Red A. Like, what's that red A? What's it called? A.
I don't know.
Okay. Well, I'm sure people are screaming at their phones.
Drop it in the comments. I don't know.
Yeah, you're kind of letting her, I don't know, keep this to herself, which is also like not allowing her to move on. Like she's keeping this bottled up, and
how is she supposed to ever move on? It literally happened to her, and every time she thinks of him, it makes her sick. So
yeah,
no.
I like no amount of therapy.
It's not gonna change the past. Like, yeah, you have to deal with it, but like, I don't give a shit. I'll fuck every single one of your relationships up in the future. I will stay just enough in contact with your side of the family that I know when you're dating someone new.
Yeah.
I'm ready to fuck it up.
That's what he deserves.
I'd have that shit typed up, FedEx envelope ready, just slip it in the mail, ready to go. Three of them ready.
Yep. All right.
Moving on?
Yeah.
All right. This one is coming from Am I the Asshole? It was posted 23 days ago. Am I the asshole for wanting to divorce my postpartum wife? It's stupid to think I'm at this point, but here I am. My soon-to-be ex-wife, 28 female, and I, 29 male, have wanted kids for years, and were thrilled when she finally got pregnant last year. From day one, I wanted to be the most supportive husband and future father I could. Her father was never involved in her life. I used to work as a tech in labor and delivery, and my brother, to put it kindly, is not the most involved father. I saw too many problems up close when it came to lacking husbands, and I would be damned before I made the same mistakes. The problem is roughly 4 weeks into her pregnancy, everything started going downhill. She stopped wanting to have sex. Fair enough. Hormones and stress make that a problem, so I went full stop. But then she didn't want any physical interactions either. No cuddling, no kissing, and slowly becoming more and more distant. Her eating constantly changed, and she was terrible about it. She would demand I get her something all day. Then the moment I give it to her, she wants something else and would be screaming at me for it. Okay, again, hormonal issues, I got it, no problem. Next, she would never let me go to any appointments. No group she went to, and she spent more time away. She started to become cold and bitter, constantly angry at me, and this went on for months. She slapped me a couple times when I forgot one of her dozens of tasks she assigned me during the day. Stopped doing anything for the house a month into the pregnancy. Sure, she's pregnant. I get it. Moving around is hard. But she wouldn't even do laundry about 4 weeks in, and by 5 weeks, I was doing everything. I'm also the primary source of income, so I barely slept. I was running on fumes. She made me sleep in the guest room, would always try to pick fights. I never raised my voice once, never my hand or my tone. I sat there and constantly mentally reminded myself that this isn't her, and this will all be worth it. She didn't want me to make any baby decisions. No name, no working on the nursery, nothing. 1 month before she delivered, she yelled how fucking useless I am and how I don't do anything and that she's going to start staying with her mother. She didn't even let me get her anything, didn't let me come check on her, threatened to divorce me and get a restraining order if I even called her. A couple weeks back, I found out about the birth of my son from a Facebook post. She posted it with her mother and some family. Well, it fucking broke me. I tried to go to the hospital and visit, and they had security kick me out. After months of outright hatred, anger, and abuse thrown at me 24/7, I fucking had it. Odds are I'm not even on the birth certificate. I opened a new account and all my deposits go there. I took half out of our joint account. She never bought baby stuff ahead of time. Who knows what that money was going towards. So now that she has to buy supplies for our son, she's used up every cent. I've gotten a lawyer. The house is mine, and I'm the only one who spent money on it in any way. I've sent the rest of her stuff to her mother's house. I'm demanding a paternity test. I'm not spending another damn cent until I get verification that it's actually my son. I'm absolutely divorcing her. She chose the stay-at-home life. If she cheated, she's screwed. Her mother has money for a couple weeks stay, but not close enough to support her full time. If he is my son, I will absolutely be getting my rights as a father for a relationship. Last week, my soon-to-be ex called. She was practically hyperventilating. She wanted to come home. She was crying how it was all a mistake. She's not staying with her mother. She's at a friend's house. She wants to come home. She wants our son to have his father. I told her I don't fucking believe he is even my son anymore. Why the fuck would she pull this shit if he was? Show me a paternity test and I'll do everything I can for him, but only him. She wants to meet tomorrow at a park so I can talk to her. I said sure, so I can finally say everything I should have said months ago to her face. My parents are hoping we can make up, but they absolutely understand if I won't. My brother is a deadbeat jackass, so I don't care what he has to say, but my sister thinks I should at least hear her out. Am I the asshole?
Whoa. I feel like, I don't know. I feel like we need to know more. There's not really, why does she flip like this? Like, was there anything that happened?
You want to know more? I got an update for you.
Okay, just to give us more info? Because
It does. And if you
like...
think my what the fuck is wrong with people is aimed towards this wife, it's not.
Oh my God, okay. Yeah, this whole time I was like, there has to be a reason.
Yep. Update. I had to speed up the process of actually talking to her since the story spread quickly around the internet, inevitably reaching someone involved with the friends or family, and now way more people I personally know are getting the details I'm not comfortable with. Oh well, my bad, lol. Before I ended up chatting with her, I opened up to my parents and sister about what was happening in detail. My parents were flustered at me hiding the more unsavory details, to say the least, and are probably going to be checking up on me daily for the rest of the year to make sure that I'm okay. My sister would probably have to be held back from thrashing her, so I had to get a friend to help with the chat since my sister would not be able to contain herself. So basically, within hours of the story going into the digital stratosphere, I called my wife back as quickly as I could to finally sit down and talk. We chose a local park this morning, and I had a friend of mine record the conversation from beginning to end. I was basically ready to hear the generic affair story and get out of Dodge. But of course, it got complicated. We met at a section with picnic tables and picked one as far away from other people to avoid them getting wrapped up in any awkwardness. She looked terrible, haggard, stressed, and thankfully without the baby. She tried to have the big emotional chat and whatnot. I wasn't tearing up or acting like the hardened badass. I frankly was just wanting to figure out what it was all for. I didn't even get to ask the question before the floodgates spilled. I'm going to attempt to relay this story as best as I can because even looking back at the recording, it's a mess. But also, it's because I don't 100% believe it. So fair warning, this could all be fake. This all started with her mother. As I said, before my wife's father was absent, he started off well, having 2 sons with her mother before having her. When her mother got pregnant with her, her father went from being the picture-perfect guy he was at first and slowly changed into a neglected, abusive, unfaithful, and unsupportive jackass, ending with him disappearing when her mother was delivering. He's been in and out of prison since, and no one knows why he did it. The impression her mother always gave was a strong, resilient woman who withstood anything life threw at her and did anything for her kids. She has claimed to be in therapy for years. In reality, she has managed to conceal a deep hatred for men outside of her sons. But according to my wife, there was favoritism towards her. My wife also found out she stopped therapy almost a decade ago and never told anyone. Her mother seemed to always have some slight against me, and now I know why. She was never hostile, but certainly wasn't warm to me. And hearing about her secret hatred, I kind of knew where this was going. Roughly, about a half a year before she got pregnant, my mother-in-law slowly began sowing seeds of doubt and bitterness into my wife. Apparently, she had a full mental break. She told her about me staying late at work, possibly hiding an affair. or that myself providing majority of the income, setting her up for a hard divorce. Everything my mother-in-law's husband did to her, she convinced my wife I would do to her, and she pumped this poison into her for months. My wife always idolized her mother, and compounding that with the anxiety she suffered from for years, she dove in deep. As soon as she got pregnant, like on the dot, she fell into a mental hole within days. And that's when my mother got a hold of her again. Hearing about her pregnancy apparently triggered something fierce in my mother-in-law, and it spiraled from there. She had my wife fully convinced it was happening again. Every single thing my wife did to hurt me was at the behest of my mother-in-law. Combined with pregnancy hormones, an undiagnosed mental illness she claims to have, and stress, she completely lost her mind. She 100% believed I would bail, so she was punishing me first, culminating in her moving in with her mother and leaving me out of the birth. While I was sending the papers and starting the divorce proceedings, she kicked into full-blown postpartum depression. And when her mother finally got her, when she finally beat me, which I guess was her victory over her ex, and by the way, did I mention that mother-in-law it must be fucking crazy? She had no more use for my wife. The family involved in the birth included my mother-in-law's sister and my wife's brothers. While my mother-in-law and her sister knew what was going on, my brother-in-laws got fed the BS narrative my mother-in-law spun. When my mother-in-law was done with her plan, the entire facade came down, and my brother-in-laws found out everything upon questioning my wife, and they were horrified. Needless to say, postpartum, facing a very grueling divorce on her side, no longer welcome in our home, and having done everything to alienate me from my son at the behest of a broken lunatic, really hit her like a truck. She torched her entire life because her mother is a broken shell of a human who used her to enact her own sense of justice. The very mother who washed her hands with her after she got what she wanted. Or at least, this is the story that she gave me. Frankly, there are many holes in her story. The starting point of the pattern of abuse, the claims of who was involved in delivery, me being absent from appointments, the friend who she confirmed is female she's staying with, and of course, my alleged son's paternity. It seems way too fucking crazy to me made up. Who the hell would go through the effort of making this up facing what she's facing? As soon as she finished, she said she's setting up a paternity test and gave me the info I need. Within luck, it should be done in roughly a week or so once I do my part. She gave me the most sincere apology any human being has ever given. She begged for another chance. I was, frankly, too stunned to say anything, so she left and promised to call soon. I don't think I can give her another chance. I don't think I can risk everything like this again. God, I'm still hoping she's just a cheating psycho and spinning a sympathy story to try and throw me off, because this got way too complicated.
Yeah, it did. Jeez, I wasn't expecting that. We don't even know if it's true, even.
Don't know. But if it is, what the hell is wrong with mother-in-law?
Yeah. That's sick. That's so sick. And I'm not even going to blame OP's wife or soon-to-be ex-wife because she's pregnant. Like, you don't know, like, the hormones and how impressionable she is when she's pregnant. So, I don't know. It is tough. But for OP to let her back into his life, yeah, I don't know. There's going to be some, like, trauma from this. Like, it's not going to be easy. It's not just going to be like, okay, yeah, I'll just take you back. Like, there's going to be a lot of hard work. Like,
so much broken trust.
There's so much broken trust.
It's worth it at that point. You're always second guessing everything.
Yeah.
Your wife's gone with the baby to go to the grocery store and her phone accidentally dies and she doesn't text you back for 2-3 hours, and then she gets home and you were like, I thought you left me again. Like, man.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd want to put myself through that.
I know, yeah, because it sounds like I think he's, like, moved on.
Sounds like it.
It sounds like he doesn't. He's made peace with it. Yeah, he's made peace with it. Like, he's okay with the outcome. Like, I think he can move on from this. So, I don't know. I don't think you should go back into this not knowing, like you even said, you have your doubts that the story is even true. So, there's just, you don't even trust that the story's true. So like, I don't think you can take her back.
I don't think so. How can you trust anything in the future?
Yeah.
Insanity. Poor guy.
Yeah, and if the story's true, poor women as well. Like, it's just a shitty situation.
Yeah, she's just a pawn.
Oh, man.
It's messed up.
Yeah. What the fuck is wrong with these people?
What the fuck is wrong with these people?
Well, any top comments?
No, it's just irrelevant.
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah. Moving on?
Yeah.
That was a hard one to move on from.
Yeah.
Woo-wee.
Mine's kind of similar-ish. This one's from Relationship Advice. My 38 male, stay-at-home wife, 40 female, has been treating our son, 12 male, poorly and favoring our daughter, 9 male, ever since I complimented his cooking. How should I handle this? My wife has always been the one to cook around the house, and as an Italian, it's one of the reasons I fell so hard for her. I've offered to help out in the kitchen or even cook for her sometimes, but she's always firmly, yet politely, told me no, and I can't really blame her because I did not get either of my parents' good cooking genes. Because of this, I've always been sure to thank her for every meal, and I've taught my children to do the same. For the past year or so, my son has been watching a ton of cooking videos on YouTube and TikTok, and he's been really wanting to try his hand at cooking. My wife was happy to teach him, and at least twice a week, the two of them will go out to the store, buy ingredients for a meal he found on TikTok, and come home and make it. It's been awesome seeing them bonding more, since they haven't really had much overlap in interests before this. About a month ago after dinner, my son asked his mom if he could try making us all a meal on his own. I said it sounded like a great idea, and she hemmed and hawed for a little while before agreeing. So that Saturday, she took him to the store to get his ingredients, and then he got to work. She supervised here and there, but he insisted that she didn't need to, so eventually she came to the living room and sat with my daughter and I, looking a little bit dejected. So I reassured her that I was sure he'll still want to cook with her. He just wanted to try it out on his own. That seemed to help out a little bit, but she still seemed a little bit off. When he finished and we all sat down to eat, I was honestly surprised at just how good he managed to do it on his own. I feel bad saying it, but even after a year or so of cooking with his mother, I expected him to mess up more than he did. I wanted to encourage this interest of his, so I was sure to let him know while I was eating how good he did, and gently bring up a few mistakes he had made. I did it a lot more than I usually would with my wife's cooking, and in hindsight, I can see that that's what started all of this. His sister, being his little sister, was not as supportive as I was, and quite rudely insulted his cooking. I was going to tell her to mind her manners and be thankful that he cooked for us, when my wife made a sound and pushed her plate away before agreeing and say that it was too salty and overcooked. This took me aback, and I could tell my son took it too hard, and his mood visibly dropped. I didn't say anything at the time, since my wife and I never argue in front of our kids, and I just kept up this praise of my son's cooking, as his mother picked at the plate for a little while longer before she took her and our daughter's plates to the kitchen. A little while later, I had went to check on my son, and I could tell that he had been crying, so I confronted him, told him I was sure his mother loved the food and that she was probably just having a bad day, not to take it personally. Then, later, once the kids were asleep, I confronted her about it, and she tried to brush it off, but I pushed, and she got mad and said that I complimented his cooking far more than I ever complimented hers. This caught me off guard, since I didn't expect my wife to be jealous of her son, and I unfortunately let out an involuntary scoff at this. She blew up at me for laughing, and we ended up arguing for a while before eventually I managed to explain that I was complimenting him so much because I wanted to encourage him to keep cooking, and she even admitted that she shouldn't have been so harsh about it. She said she would apologize to him, and I figured that everything was settled. That Monday, when I was driving my son to school, I noticed he wasn't acting normal and looking out of the window, trying to hide his face from me. I asked him what was wrong, and he told me he was fine, but I could tell he was fighting back tears. So I asked him again, and he broke and told me that after I had left to get the car started, she told him that she was going to be cooking alone from now on. I was furious about this, but kept my cool and told him I would talk to her about it. bought him a snack from the store before dropping him off at school. I left work early so I could get home before the kids and talk to my wife. I'll admit I didn't handle it as well as I could have. We ended up in a shouting match where I was calling her childish for being so vindictive towards our son because she was upset with me. She called him a baby and said he shouldn't be so sad about not being allowed to cook since it wasn't a man's job to do so anyways. We ended up leaving each other alone to cool down, and when our kids got home, my wife took our daughter out and came back later with a load of toys and clothes for her. I knew immediately what she was trying to do, and that night I told her I would not let her use the money that I make for our family to punish my son. She didn't take this so well, and we ended up arguing again. I slept in the guest room and have been up to this point. For this past month, my wife has kept up this vindictive showering of our daughter with attention and gifts, while almost entirely ignoring my son. I've been talking to my parents and brother about this, and while they agree that she's wrong, they also don't see it as big of a problem and think it'll sort itself out. At this point, with how she's been treating our son, I'm starting to fall out of love with her, but I also don't want to just jump to divorce if there's something that I can do to fix this whole situation. I can honestly say that we've never had a fight this big. Sure, we bicker every now and then, but she's never taken that out on my son in the past. I feel responsible and guilty about what happened, and I've been trying to do a nice thing for my son when I can, but I also don't want to mirror my wife's behavior. So I've also been taking my daughter with us about half the time we go to places. But whenever we do, she's been very rude and always talks about all the stuff her mother does for her lately because she knows it bothers her brother. Seeing the way my wife is treating our son has made me second guess our marriage, but I don't want to just jump straight to divorce either. Any advice on what I should do or how to best bring up the topic in therapy would be appreciated.
Divorce.
Any advice besides divorce?
Divorce.
I agree.
What a piece of shit mom.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I got jealous because you told him that he did such a good job cooking, that you like his food better. No, it's called encouragement. What the fuck
this
is
woman
wrong
should
with you?
not be a parent.
No. Like, your son cooks for the first time. He's 12 years old and he cooks a meal. Even if it's burnt to a crisp or he added way too much salt, you just go, no, oh, it's delicious, honey. Can't wait for you to cook again. Like, it's
you spare his feelings.
Yeah. That's what you do as a parent. You're not a parent. You're a piece of fucking shit. I'm so riled up. I don't think I've ever heard a bigger piece of shit parent story before.
Yeah.
Like, this is worse than forcing your kid to eat blueberries.
The blueberries one, yeah.
Yeah, like now you're giving your daughter like all this affection so because you know she's going to throw it back in your son's face. Like, your son literally did nothing wrong.
No.
Sorry, he actually wanted to help you in the kitchen. Maybe instead of being such a fucking bitch, you could actually like encourage him, like, yeah, come on in, peel the potatoes, we'll cook together, bonding together, you can help me out, I'm always slaving away in here, so maybe you should be feeling so appreciative that you have someone who actually wants to help you out.
100%. This is so weird to be jealous of your son like this, like your son that you have together. No, this is not like a stepmom situation that he's your son. Like, this is both of your son. Like, there's no reason you should be jealous about compliments. Like, I don't know what it is, but
divorced, like, you're psycho.
Yeah, it's truly psycho. It's psychotic.
I'd be I would be trying to go for full custody. I would divorce and go for full custody of both kids. I don't give a shit. I wouldn't leave the daughter with her either because she'll flip on the daughter at some point too.
Probably.
Daughter does something that she doesn't like and she turns like this. Nope. I would be using this as ammunition to get full custody.
Yeah. So there's an update.
Divorce?
Obligatory but genuine thank you for all the support, even the comments that got a bit nasty. That kind of pushback helped me to see that things were a lot worse than I realized. Some of you could do being a bit nicer, but the advice is appreciated all the same. The first thing I did after making my previous post was take my son to my parents' house to tell them what was happening from his mouth. I figured they may have been more receptive to seeing the pain their grandson was going through and not just write it off like they had with me. They ended up understanding and supportive of my next move, which was kicking my wife out till she worked through whatever problem she was going through. Next, I went to see a lawyer and consulted with him. He told me it would be best to have the papers ready to go, even if I wasn't sure I wanted to divorce yet, because it's better to get it done as quick as possible if I decided to go through with it, because in Canada, you have to either have to separate for a year or prove abuse or adultery. I did not know that.
Huh. Well, you can prove abuse with your kid.
Yeah. I took the kids to my folks' house the next Saturday and came back with my mother. I let her talk to my wife first. Then when they were done, I told her I needed her to leave the house until I sorted out whatever was causing her to act this way to our son. She surprisingly agreed to this. I'm guessing hearing things from my mother knocked some sense into her, as they were always quite close. I told her that my parents were willing to let her stay there during the time because her parents lived too far away, or I could put her up in a nearby motel. I would also pay for her to see a therapist every week, which I told her was mandatory for fixing things. Our kids spent the night with my parents and we moved her out the next day. We both sat with the kids and told them what was happening. Our son understood, but our daughter didn't and was quite upset, but eventually we calmed her down. Things went well for the first month or so. She went to all the weekly appointments, and I met her for dinner a few nights of the week with the kids, and she seemed to be treating our son properly again. I was really hopeful that she had been making progress. Then the Friday after the 5th therapy appointment, she sent me a wall of text messages about how I was an asshole and I was trying to steal her children from her, and how I was probably fucking someone on the side. I tried calling her to see what she was talking about, but I think she shut her phone off. I called my mother and told her that my wife had left the house earlier that day with all her stuff without saying anything to my mom. I'm not 100% sure what happened next, since my wife also refuses to tell me most of the details, and I can't get in contact with the friends that she has. The best I can piece together was that she told her best friend about what was happening, and that friend started telling her about how I was just trying to kick her out and steal our kids. She then moved in with a friend and went on a week-long bender of clubbing and drinking and drugs. When we were younger, we did our fair share of stupid shit together, so while this was surprising, it was most likely her dumbass friends convincing her to relive the good old days. I hadn't heard anything for a week. Then I got a text from a friend telling me I was a loser, that my wife was too good for me, and that she was fucking a younger guy. I tried to demand she give my wife the phone so I could talk with her, but I never got a reply. I screenshotted the text for evidence if I needed it. I ended up having to call the hospital at 3 a.m. that Sunday. My wife had overdosed on something and was dropped off at the ER by someone who didn't stick around. Since I was the emergency contact, they reached out to me. I called my mom to come watch the kids and headed over there. They managed to get her stabilized and were treating her. I stuck around for a few hours and she was in and out of consciousness, and when she wasn't very talkative. When she properly woke up, she started apologizing for everything, and that's when I found out the few details I know about her friend and the bender. I asked her if she had been fucking someone else like her friend said, and she didn't reply, which was as much of an answer as I needed. She kept trying to apologize, and I kept my cool and told her this wasn't the time or place for this. We ended up leaving at around 8 a.m. the next day. I got her back to my parents' place, got her into bed, and just before I left, I put the papers on the table beside the bed and told her that I expected her to sign them within the week, and that I had proof she cheated on me during her bender. I told my parents I was planning on doing this on the phone, so I wasn't just dumping this drama onto them without warning. The kids are both doing fine. They don't know anything of what happened with their mother or the divorce. All they know is that my wife is still moved out and that she's busy getting better, so we're not going to see her much. I'll probably tell them in a couple weeks whenever school lets out for the summer, so it doesn't affect their learning. Over the next couple of weeks, I've gotten countless of calls from her, ranging from begging for a second chance to screaming at me that she hated me and was going to give my life hell, going back and forth every day. I've also been getting vitriolic texts from her family and friends calling me all sorts of names and threatening me that if I don't drop the divorce, I'll regret it, all of which I have screenshotted. My parents agree that divorce is for the best, but they're questioning my timing and is wondering if I should have picked a better time to do this than when she was fresh out of the hospital. I 100% am sure I want her out of my life, and I plan on going for full custody of my children, as I don't want them around my wife if this behavior is what she's willing to stoop to. And while I do want it to be done as soon as possible, I'm wondering if I should take back the papers and tell her I've changed my mind, at least until she's a bit more stable.
This is insane. But no, leave the papers. She is stable. She just had her life almost ripped. That's the best time. Like she went on her bender. She got so fucked up. She ended up in the hospital. She's recovering and she's gonna feel remorseful. That is the best time to do it. If you let her recover, she's gonna feel better. She's gonna forget about going to the hospital, and then she'll go down another bender.
Yes. Yes. You cannot change your mind.
No, you can't change your mind. You can't tell her you change your mind and then spring her on her 2 weeks later, because that will absolutely send her into another spiral.
Yes.
You need to let her pull herself out of this. Like, she's fucked up her own life. Sounds insane that it just a flip of the switch happened.
Yeah.
Like, you didn't notice anything else. Like
this is all started from cooking, like from a compliment of her son's cooking.
Like what about anything else? Like, you don't compliment your kids whenever they build the Lego stack 7 feet tall. Like, come on.
Yeah, but OP did mention that she never had a close relationship with her son.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, it's crazy. But I think this does happen. Like, sometimes you start resenting your kids. There's, I don't know, resentment is the theme in this episode. But I think, like, if you don't want that kid, maybe it wasn't a kid she wanted. Maybe she didn't want to have a boy. Maybe she didn't want a kid at all. Maybe he was an accident. I think there's some sort of resentment towards him.
Yeah.
That she cannot let go.
It's messed up.
Yeah, it is. It's really, really sad.
Divorce is the only way to go. I think
100%.
he should get full custody. I mean, you have a parent who was malicious towards your kids, and then she went out and then got herself so fucked up on drugs, cheated on you, and ended up in the hospital. I think any judge is going to grant you full custody.
I think so too. It should be an easy, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully easy for him.
There's a small edit to add. I saw a comment suggesting I take my kids to therapy to explain the situation to them. I have a session set up with a therapist in a week, just wanting to wait a tiny bit longer for their school to be finished as possible. I forgot to include it when I first typed everything out.
Yeah, that's smart of him. Like, he's trying not to let mess up with their school, because that stuff will hit kids very heavily.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think he's handled it greatly so far, and I don't think he should change anything, honestly.
No, I think he's on track.
Yeah.
The insanity.
Yep.
The heck is wrong with people?
All right.
I think this is going to be my last one, because we're about 2 hours. I've got 3 left, so I'll let you pick which one you want. I'll give you the titles.
Okay.
All right. First one, I'm thinking of leaving my husband at 26 weeks.
At 26. Oh, like she's 26 weeks pregnant?
Yeah, the subreddit's called Baby Bumps.
Oh, okay.
Next one, am I the asshole for breaking up with my boyfriend because he ignored my medical emergency and didn't visit me in the hospital? And the next one is, am I the asshole for going no contact with my family after they expected me to get back with my ex and help her raise her affair baby?
Ooh. Between the last two. Affair baby.
Affair baby?
Yeah.
All right. Coming from 12 days ago. Like I said, am I the asshole for going no contact with my family after they expected me to get back with my ex and help her raise her affair baby? I am 30 male. I'm not sure how to word this because right now I'm crushed and I don't know what to do. I've been with my high school sweetheart Cassie since we were 17. My parents love her and so did I. Our parents were always asking when we would get married and give them grandchildren, and me and Casey would say when we are financially stable. We are both doing good in our careers. My job, however, requires me to sometimes leave the country. I left 7 months ago. I am due back this week, except a friend of mine rang me to tell me that Cassie is 3 months pregnant. Obviously, I cannot be the father. I didn't believe my friend, and I rang up Cassie, and after pushing, she finally broke down crying and admitted that she is pregnant and it was a drunken mistake. She said she doesn't know who the father is because it was a random guy. She said she wanted to keep the baby and we can raise the baby. I was in shock and ended the call. I texted her and said that we were done. She tried to ring back, but I switched my phone off. I was on autopilot for a couple of days and I just worked. Then my boss told me I had a family emergency call from my dad and I took the call. My parents basically said that Cassie confessed to cheating, but it was a mistake, and the baby does need a father. I saw red and told him that if he was so worried about the baby, then he can step up and be there. We got into a heated argument, and I ended the call and blocked him. My mother and him and my ex have been texting on different numbers and telling me to step up, and mistakes happen. I got so frustrated and I rang them up and said that I'm going no contact with them and I will be looking to apply for a visa to stay in the current country permanently. And I heard my mother and ex start crying before I hung up. It's been a week now and I've had time to think about what happened and I'm wondering, am I the asshole?
What do you mean, am I the asshole? No, obviously not. Like, that shouldn't even be a question. She cheated on you. She's having a baby with someone else. How can they expect you to raise that kid?
Yep.
That's insanity. What is wrong with these people?
They want a grandkid so bad.
Oh my God. Like, okay, that is so sickening to hear. Like, you wanted them that bad that you are okay with adultery?
With your son getting cheated on? Not even like your daughter cheated
Yeah.
on. Your son getting cheated on.
Yeah. Oh my God. No. Obviously, like, this is the easiest, not the asshole.
Top comment, not the asshole. And capital, don't look back ever. Your parents are fucking assholes for trying to get you to step up as a father for an affair, baby. This is a great opportunity to make everything you want. This is a great opportunity to make everything you want. Don't throw it away.
Yeah. Yeah. If they want a grandkid so bad, I don't know, they should.
Yeah, they can raise it.
They can raise it.
I'm out.
Like,
I am out. Peace.
yeah. Absolutely not.
Peace out. Not happening.
That's wild.
Yep.
Is that all?
All right, I think that's all.
Yeah.
I think you had some leftover stories.
Yes.
Why don't you tell them what the title is and give them a good reason that they should come over to our Patreon channel to check out what these are? Because all of our leftover episodes, they're going to be going on to our next Patreon episode. That's going to be Patreon episode number 6, where you'll find these stories.
All right. My sister slept with my boyfriend, and I sent her a really cruel message that I don't regret at all.
Ooh.
And am I the asshole for leaving my sister's wedding early after her maid of honor humiliated me in her speech?
Oh, damn. Oh, I'm excited to get into those.
Yeah.
Ooh, I can't wait to film the next Patreon episode. So that will be exciting. We just want to thank you guys so much. A bunch of you guys have come on board for Patreon this week. So thank you guys so much for coming on board for the Patreon. It really helps us. It supports us with what our future goals are.
Yes. Thank you all so much. We're actually shocked at the amount of members that we have so far. We just thought there would be like a couple here and there, but like, I don't know. It's already like an overwhelming response from you guys. So we have heard that you guys like have binged the episodes. You're out of episodes. So now we're creating more and we're posting those on Patreon for you guys. 1 extra episode a week. So instead of 4 episodes a month, you get 8 episodes a month if you join our Patreon.
And right now there's 5 episodes that are live. So you can get binging through those.
Exactly.
And bonus, we give you even more details on our life updates. We're going to give you a little life update, but if you want to know even more nitty gritty stuff, some behind the scenes footage of videos and stuff like that, that's all on our Patreon.
Yes. So, little update.
Yeah, little update. RV life is being postponed a little bit.
Postponed, yes.
We are having an issue with Teresa's job. She's not allowed to log outside of the province.
Yes.
And so we can't really go RVing around. And at the same time, my aunt and uncle have offered to sell us a property at a really good price, essentially what they paid for a long time ago. So there's added value there. So we are kind of shifting our focus, and right now we are specking out and building up a little bit of a dream home for us.
Mm-hmm. A little
Barndominium, a shop house. So essentially it's a giant steel building with 1/3 of it, you know, like a 35 feet by 30 feet garage, which is essentially like a 4 or 5 car garage, super deep. And then the other side, 2/3 of it or half of it is like an apartment on the inside. So that's something that we're looking into. We're thinking like a 3-bedroom, open concept kitchen and living room, 18 to 20 foot ceilings, super high ceilings, super spacious feel. And we're going to build it from the ground up.
Yes, and Denver's going to do it all himself.
Yes, since I don't have a job and the podcast
I guess
has now
you didn't
become...
say that.
No, so I don't have a job. I haven't had a job for a while. It's kind of why we started the Patreon episode. I've been putting full-time effort into doing... I do all the editing. I do all the TikToks. I do everything for the podcast. All Teresa has to do is come on here and throw down her opinions with some stories, and I take care of everything else. So I do end up with...
And I find my stories.
Yeah, and she finds her stories. So I have a lot of spare time. So what we're thinking of, and I have a lot of background with this kind of stuff. So I think I can do it. Not saying it's going to be done the perfect. I'm not a tradesman or anything, but like I know how to measure. I've done woodworking. I've worked with steel. I know the concepts of welding. I know electrical. I know plumbing. I just need to look up and learn what the qualifying spec is and how to do it properly when you're building a house. We'll hire it where we need to, but I'm going to do as much as the labor work as I can. It'll help us on our personal YouTube series channel, and then also save on labor costs, probably $100,000 of labor that I will be doing over the next year. So at this point, we're going to go take a look at the property in 2 weeks, hopefully sign that over, get a construction loan mortgage set up, order a building, septic, well, sewer, whatever that is. Well, septic and well, there's no sewer because it's rural. It's out in the middle of nowhere in like cottage country. It's like a 2-hour drive from downtown Toronto. Nice like 1 or 2 acre lot with a little pond. Should be exciting. So
I'm excited.
Yeah, we are.
Get out of the city.
Exactly. I've had enough of the city. It's been 4 years. I'm
Traffic
ready
has
to leave. Traffic sucks in Toronto. They're like construction everywhere, and traffic is really starting to suck. I will be sad to give up our apartment because we're paying like 35% below market value.
Yeah.
Like it's wild. Like
I know.
Like we're huge difference. We're like $1,000-$1,500 below everybody else who are getting like a 1-bedroom plus den with parking. It's insane. So I'll be a little bit sad to give that up, but we'll be putting our money into something that we own, that will have equity. It's going to have immediate value. I mean, just purchasing it at the price that my aunt and uncle are willing to sell it to us is an incredible opportunity that it's hard to pass up.
Yes. So that's what we're focusing our energy on. And as Denver mentioned, my job doesn't allow me to work outside the province. So RV life, I'm not going to say no more, but we'll right now,
put on hold for the next couple of years, at least till we get this building done and then reassess. But we might actually still have to buy an RV.
Yes.
So we're thinking that once the septic and the sewer is done, we would buy the RV to live on the property, to build the barnuminium kit, the steel structure. That would get dropped off. And it's a 2-hour drive back and forth Toronto, just not feasible. We're literally spending the amount of money on gas every week that I would for the buying an RV. So we'll buy an RV, live on the property. Once the building goes up, we can park the RV in the garage and then build out the apartment side throughout the winter coming up. So we're hoping that if everything goes well, we can kind of have the steel building up by like November and then build out the apartment on the inside, the house on the inside throughout the winter time.
Fingers crossed.
So that's kind of our update. So we'll kind of be doing RV life for a bit, but it won't be moving around. It'll just be on the one piece of land property and building up a house. So yeah.
Yeah, exciting stuff.
It is exciting.
We keep flip-flopping, but this is the final decision.
This is the, I mean, once the land's put into our name and like we've already done the applications for the construction loans and stuff. I mean, once we set that, I mean, there will be no turning back. So we went to Home Depot the other day and we looked at some, it was the funniest thing, guys. Funniest thing. I'm like, babe, maybe can we we go for bike rides all the time and we're just like go up and down and then we're back. I'm like, babe, Home Depot, it's like a 7 kilometers away. Why don't we just go for a bike ride over there? We'll take a break. We'll go on the inside and then we'll bike back. She's like, oh, why would we do that? We're still so far away. We don't need to do that. I'm like, because I feel like you're not like as excited as I am. I've spent the last 2 weeks of like researching how to build them, where to order from. I've been getting quotes, like how much is it for the building? How much is it for sewer? Who do I need to hire? I've been doing nonstop research. So I'm like, I need Teresa to get more excited. Like she hasn't even been sending me like pictures of what she wants the kitchen. I just expected to get like the finishings out of her of like how she wants it to look. I got nothing from her. So I'm like, let's go to Home Depot. Let's check out some like tiling and some like appliances and cabinetry and stuff. And I was like, listen, if you don't get excited, we'll leave after 10 minutes. It'll essentially be like a 10-minute break and then we'll go back on the bike. We're in there. We're like 15 minutes in. She's like, ooh, this is exciting. This is actually fun.
Yes,
You
it
were
was.
right.
You were right, and I had a lot of fun, and now I'm eager.
And then we were there
And
for like an
I
hour
have
and a
a
half.
Pinterest board.
Yeah, she does. And we were there for like an hour and a half.
Yes, yeah, we were. It was a lot of fun. Dream building.
Yeah. I'm envisioning single slope roof, steel building, very tall windows around the living room and the kitchen area, epoxy floor, very
No.
one-off unique design, maybe a waterfall somewhere, 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, large master, big garage for me to do projects in. It's going to be great.
Yeah,
Heated floors, maybe.
maybe.
Turns out that's actually kind of expensive.
It's all
like
expensive.
20 yeah, it is. It is all expensive. Everything's like 10,000 here, 20,000 there, 25,000 here, 50,000 there. I'm like, oh
Crazy.
my god, it's all racking up. We were in Home Depot, and I was like, hey, this cabinetry set that you're showing us on display, how much is this? He's like, this, you look about $35,000. I'm like, $35,000, man. Like, come on, we're trying to keep this on the budget.
Yeah, it's gonna be crazy, but
I think it'll be worth it.
yeah, it
it'll be
will
exciting.
be. Yeah, I'm very excited.
So stay tuned for future updates for that. Maybe we'll come back to you after we visit the property and we'll talk a little bit more about it. And yeah, I mean, now that I don't have a job, I'll have free time just to do all the building.
There you go.
We got the breadwinner over here in the seat beside me. But yeah, I mean, honestly, we wouldn't even still feel comfortable with like doing this massive project without you guys.
Yes.
Watching, supporting us. The easiest way to support us, smash the like button, drop a comment down on Spotify, click that follow button, share it with some friends and family. We just appreciate you guys
We do
so much. So much. It's been an incredible journey.
Yes, like Denver said, we wouldn't be able to do this without you guys. He would have to get another job.
Yeah, I would have already got a job by now.
Yeah. So we thank you all so much for making this possible for us. And we appreciate you.
Yeah, and if you guys want to support us a little bit more, YouTube, there's a 99 cents a month. You can get early access to all of the episodes. Patreon, you're getting bonus episodes, and you're also getting like a little bit more, raw stuff from our life. So like at the end of the video episodes, like the other week we moved a giant snake, and I put like the video images up there, or no, we were doing RV shopping, and I don't know. I put more stuff in the Patreon stuff. Yeah, and then you guys know that you guys are helping support us, and just thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I think we're good.
Yep.
Episode 32 is a wrap. What the fuck was wrong with those people?
Lots
Lots
was wrong.
Lots of issues. We love to chat about it, so drop a comment down below, and we'll see you there.
All right. See you guys next week.
Peace out.
Bye.
Woo! Hey.
Wrong direction.
Nice! You having fun?
Yep. Big boy. Okay, now.
Oh, solid. It's going far. Fuck yeah! Let's go!
Oh!
That's looking nice.
Yeah. Oh, buddy.